Welcome to my next Better Call Saul Season 6 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important. If you aren't caught up to the point where I am at rewatching or watching Better Call Saul, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention, as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case, you find you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this detailed review any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And full disclosure, I've already seen Better Call Saul all the way through one time. It's definitely one of my favorite shows of all time. I wanted to rewatch it and let things resonate. As well as I'm a big fan of Breaking Bad. I'm even more of a fan of Breaking Bad. I've reviewed every single episode of Breaking Bad on this channel, so with about 20 seconds left to go in this video, I'll put my Breaking Bad seasons ranked right there at the end screen. I'll put my top 10 favorite episodes of Breaking Bad right there. I'll put my El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie review, right over there, and then I'll just put the whole entire Breaking Bad playlist right down there in case you want to just search for yourself of something that you want to look at. But I'm a major fan of the entire universe, and I want to do detailed reviews for all of you. So with all that said, this will be Better Call Saul Season 6, Episode 3. The title of this episode is called Rock in a Hard Place, and this will be my review reaction recap after just finishing watching the episode. Nacho is forced to pull over when his damaged pickup breaks down. He notices an abandoned tanker trailer nearby and hides inside. Through a corroded hole, he sees the cousins and the cartel gunman parked behind his pickup. Well, it's not his, it's the pickup he stole, and begins searching the area. When Lionel approaches, Nacho submerges himself in a pool of oil at one end of the trailer, and Lionel pokes his head in the trailer but does not see Nacho. Once Lionel leaves, Nacho emerges from the pool and sees the cartel party driving away. He waits until after dark before climbing out of the trailer. He finds his cell phone dead and runs away from the scene. And then Nacho washes himself with a hose outside of an auto repair shop. A mechanic offers him a rag to clean himself, which he accepts. This person doesn't want any trouble. He just wants to help. And then using a phone in the garage, he calls his father, Manuel, at his upholstery business in Albuquerque. Nacho struggles to contain his emotions as he talks to his father, telling him he wanted to check in and hear his voice. Manuel senses that something is wrong and urges his son to surrender to the police. The two say goodbye afterwards. Nacho cries. So this is going to be the last time that Nacho talks to his father. After collecting himself, Nacho places his second call to Mike, who is being held at gunpoint by Tyrus at Los Porros Hermanos chicken farm. Nacho calls out Mike for knowingly sending him on a suicide mission to Mexico, but Mike replies that it was not his call. Nacho demands to speak with Gus, knowing that the only way that Gus survives is if Nacho dies. He agrees to let it happen on one condition, that his father remains safe. Gus and Mike give Nacho their assurances, with Mike pledging that anyone who tries to go after Manuel will have to come through me. Satisfied, Nacho departs from the auto repair shop and leaves behind his money for the mechanic in gratitude. So that was a nice gesture by Nacho. Jimmy is overlooking an arrangement of post-it notes attached to the back of a picture frame, each detailing a different detail of him and Kim's ongoing scam against Howard Hamlin. Their next phase involves finding a car of the same make and model as Howard's Jaguar. Kim suggests somehow commandeering the real Jaguar, but Jimmy is initially skeptical as the idea carries too many risks. However, he comes up with a way that the car would be procured through a valet scam using Huel Babinu as a covert operative. Exhilarated by the scheming, Kim pulls Jimmy in for a passionate kiss. So Kim clearly gets off on all these scams that Jimmy and her pull. Assistant District Attorney Suzanne Erickson shows Kim the arrest report for Jorge de Guzman, a.k.a. Lalo Salamanca, a Mexican drug kingpin who secured a $7 million bail with Jimmy's help, fled back to Mexico, and apparently died in a gunfight, mentioning his past associations with Nacho Varga and Tuco Salamanca. Erickson outlines ADA Agina's suspicion that Jimmy knew Lalo's true identity and is working as a cartel lawyer. Erickson believes that Jimmy was deceived into representing Lalo Salamanca, which would nullify their attorney-client privilege and allow her to question him. Kim pointedly refers to Jimmy as Saul and recalls how Erickson once referred to him as a scumbag. Erickson states that while they have their differences in the past, she believes that Jimmy wants to do what is right. Mike receives Nacho from a hidden compartment in the back of a Los Portos Hermanos truck. After he is given a meal and a change of clothes, Nacho asks, "When?" "Tomorrow," Mike replies. The two are approached by Victor, who says that Gus thinks that Nacho is too pretty. Victor suggests that he take care of Nacho, meaning to beat him up, but Mike insists that he will handle it himself and tells Victor to leave. Mike retrieves a bottle of whiskey and 2 glasses from a nearby locker and shares a drink with Nacho. Howard Hamlin hands his Jaguar keys to a valet driver named Tony, who drives it to a nearby parking garage. Tony runs back to the restaurant. He bumps into Huel, who manages to pickpocket Howard's keys. Huel and Klitsch, who is a locksmith, then make a duplicate set of keys in the back of the van, operating within a very short time frame before Tony realizes the keys are missing and returns. The original keys are left beneath the Jaguar for Tony to find. At the top level of the parking garage, in Jimmy's car, Huel shows an electronic device attached to the duplicate keys that can remotely unlock the Jaguar. Huel asks why Jimmy and Kim, being legit lawyers, are going through the trouble of this scheme, and Jimmy tells Huel that what they are doing will help people down the road, and Huel expresses skepticism and leaves. Jimmy returns home to find Kim, who is uneasy from her conversation with Erickson. Kim tells Jimmy that Lalo is dead. Jimmy is relieved. She also tells him that with Lalo dead, the attorney-client privilege is nullified and that Erickson wants to talk about what Jimmy knows about Lalo. Conflicted, Jimmy asks what he should do, and Kim replies that he can do whatever he wants since Erickson is simply engaging in a fishing expedition, but says that his next move boils down to one question: do you want to be a friend of the cartel, or do you want to be a rat? Gus Fring drives to the chicken farm and enters the office trailer where Mike and Nacho are waiting. Nacho's face has been bloodied by Mike as part of a setup the 3 men have arranged. Nacho is to tell Juan Bolsa that he was working for a Peruvian cartel in a plot against Lalo, and then stage an escape attempt, at which he will be shot by Victor as he's run away. Mike assures him that it'll be over quick. Outside the trailer, Mike asks that he be present when Nacho is killed, saying that he is needed in case the plan goes south, and Gus reluctantly nods his approval. Inside the trailer, Nacho notices something reflective in the trash can. Nacho is transported in the back of a windowless van with Mike and Tyrus, while Gus and Victor are in the front cab. Mike is left at a ridge near the planned meeting spot where he will monitor the situation from a sniper's nest. At the meeting spot, a small remote shack. Bolsa, the cousins, and Hector Salamanca are waiting for Gus's party to arrive. Nacho is presented before Juan Bolsa, who offers him the options of a good death that will come quickly or a bad death. He tells him that he will have a good death if he tells them who put him up to betraying Lalo Salamanca. Nacho contemplates betraying Gus, but ultimately sticks to the story, saying that he was on the payroll of the Peruvians and that Gus had nothing to do with the plot. Hector Salamanca, knowing the truth, angrily rings his bell and points at Gus Fring while this is going on. And then we have Nacho launching into a vicious tirade against the Salamancas, stating that he despises every one of them, and he confesses to causing Hector Salamanca's stroke by switching the pills, saying that he hopes Hector Salamanca will think of him for the rest of his life and he wastes away in the nursing home. Now Nacho, having cut through the zip ties with that piece of glass that he has, is actually able to stab Juan Bolsa in the leg before stealing his gun and taking him hostage. Gus and Hector's men both point their weapons on Nacho. Mike, watching the standoff through this sniper scope, quietly whispers, "Do it. deciding to die on his own terms. Nacho points the gun at his own head and pulls the trigger. Gus and his men drive away while an enraged Hector Salamanca, held up in his wheelchair by the cousins, fires Marco's gun into Nacho's lifeless body over and over and over and over again. Mike, moved from witnessing Nacho's last stand, leaves the scene, and that's what ends this episode of Better Call Saul. So this was an amazing episode, a great ending from Nacho. Rest in peace to that character. I have to give this episode a 10 out of 10. This was awesome, and Nacho is definitely the standout character in my opinion. So you've heard everything that I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad, or El Camino Breaking Bad movie, and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please make sure that you Hulk smash the like button, share the video with a friend, put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode of Better Call Saul. What would you score it? And who would you name as your character of the episode? If it's not Nacho, what are you thinking? Remember, I'll put my Breaking Bad seasons ranked right there. I'll put my Breaking Bad top 10 episodes right there. I'll put my El Camino video right there. And then I'll just put my entire Breaking Bad playlist right there. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel. Join the team. Show your damn support and be part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDEV TV.